Hello, so what we're going to do today is we're going to look at the impact of twisty bits on bendy bits. So what I mean by that is that when you've got a bit that just bends, say your knees, which are really just designed to go forwards and back, they are influenced by the twisty bits below them and above them, so feet and ankles, hips, pelvis, rib cage. And so what we're going to work out is how your bendy bits are affected by your twisty bits. So we're going to start off by testing your bendy bits. So the two main bendy bits that I'm thinking about today are your knees and your lower back, which are not really designed to twist, they are designed to bend. So let's have a look. Really easy ways to test that out. How does your squat feel? So if you come down into a squat position, does that feel easy? Does it feel comfortable? Is there anything that pinches or feels like it's sore, it's getting overstretched? Is there anything that feels like it's offline? Anything that doesn't feel quite right? Anything that makes it not feel easy? So we start with a squat, and then we're going to go for a toe touch. So, because this is going to test the bendy bits in your lower back. So just drop your chin forward, drop your shoulders, roll the way down, bringing your weight onto your heels as your fingertips swing above the floor, or hands flat on the floor if you're able to, and then come back up again. How did that feel? Did that again feel uncomfortable, tight? Where did you feel the tightness? And then what we're going to do is play around with some ideas for how we release that tightness and see what out of your twisty bits are going to be affecting your knees and your lower back. So that's the premise for today's video. So in this video, we want to see how the stretchy bit that is the neck affects the bendy bits that is the low back and the knees. Because I have seen people whose stiff necks, if you've got your head over here, that can affect the way that you're loading through your knees and cause knee problems. So here we go. First things first, we need to see how twisty your neck is. So keeping your shoulders still, you can do this against the wall if you like, but I'm just going to hold onto my thighs and hope. And I'm just going to turn my head over my right shoulder, and then turn my head over my left shoulder, and you're looking to see whether those feel the same or different. So do you have as much range going right as you do going left, and vice versa? Do you feel anything pinching? Do you feel anything stretching? Does it feel symmetrical? Do they both feel stiff? That's what we need to start off thinking, okay? So then we can see if we can change it. The first thing I'm going to do to try and release my neck to improve my neck flexibility is a release with a tennis ball. Now, if you feel down the back of your head, down the centre, as you run your fingers down to the base of your skull, you'll feel that there is a divot, a hollow just there. And then to the left side of that, you'll feel that there's a solid vertical muscle running up. And to the right of that, there's another solid vertical muscle. And those are the three areas, centre, left and right, those are the three areas we're going to try and release with the tennis ball. So let's see what we can do. The ball is going to stay in my hand throughout the release because I can get much more traction and direction on it when it's in my hand than when it's just on the floor. So I'm going to start off, ball in hand, bring it under the centre of the back of my neck, so just underneath the skull. And then I'm going to twist my hand like that, and you can see how the ball moves. And as I twist my hand like that, I'm going to add a little bit of traction and just push the base of my skull up, the other way. So I'm just going to add a little bit of traction through there. And I'm going to breathe into that and just try and let this go. So I've got a little bit of traction, a little bit of release going on through my neck. And every out breath, I'm going to see if I can get that just a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more comfortable, a little bit longer through the neck. And I'm going to move the ball so it's underneath the right side. Again, with that little bit of a twist at the wrist, so I can get a bit of a traction through the ball. Traction through the neck via the ball, whatever. Words are hard. Just breathing and trying to let go. Let your neck feel longer and lighter and looser. And this really is my trigger point. Just underneath the base of the skull on the right, sends interesting signals up to the back of my right eye. And then I'm going to do the same one to the left side. So again, ball under the left side, twist the wrist, So I've got a bit of traction as well as the tennis ball releasing there. And again, just breathing into that, feeling my neck getting longer and lighter and more relaxed. I will often feel a little bit lightheaded after doing this particular release exercise, but I find it so helpful. Good, so that is the first thing that I would do to release the neck. So having released my neck with the tennis ball, the next thing I'm going to do to get my neck to stretch off and create a bit more room and a bit more flexibility is a lateral stretch for the neck. So I'm going to hold on to my chair underneath here. If you've got shorter arms or it's more difficult to hold onto the chair, you can also sit on your hand. If you need it to be a bit longer, go palm up. The idea of all of this is just to anchor that arm so that when you stretch your neck, you don't move the shoulder with it. So we're stretching the neck away from the shoulder. So I've got that there, and I'm going to reach over, hold onto my right ear with my left hand. I'm not going to pull, but I'm going to let the weight of my left arm just take my head away from my right shoulder. So I'm just going to hold it there. I can feel, I'm going to just play around with the angle a little bit. So it might be a little bit further back, might be a little bit further forward. Play with the angle and feel where you have the most stretch. So for me it's slightly forward there, and the stretch is slightly more just behind my ear. So I'm just going to breathe into that stretch. And I'm going to do the same for the other side. Hand on the butt cheek, reach over, find my ear, and then play around with the angles until I find the point of maximum stretch, which for me again is slightly further forward on this side. But again, the stretch comes up to the back of my left ear. And then just breathe into that. Good. So having released and then stretched, we're just going to retest and see whether we've got any more flexibility in that neck rotation. So let's see, sitting twist for the neck. I'm going to take my head, my chin over my right shoulder as far as I possibly can, and again over my left shoulder. Now I don't think I've gained loads of range, but I do feel that going to the right in particular is a little bit easier now than it was before. Going to the left hasn't changed so much. So that's what it's done for me. So now what I'm going to do is to wake up the proprioceptive muscles of the neck. Now, getting coordination between your head and your eyes is kind of important. So this is quite a good proprioceptive exercise for the neck, is to keep your eyes looking straight forward, but turn your head. So I'm going to keep staring straight ahead, and I'm going to turn my head. And that wakes up some of my neck muscles. And then when I'm getting to the point where I can't see straight ahead anymore, I'm going to come back the other way. I'm still looking straight, still looking straight, still looking straight, just to there. And I feel like that's probably a little bit less flexible in that direction. I'm coming to there. Again, try not to turn my legs, just turning my head. Without my eyes. And again, looking the other way, keeping the eyes looking straight ahead. And that's quite a strain on the eyes and the brain, but it does wake up the neck muscles. So now that we've worked on the flexibility and the proprioception,